I mean, that sounded good.
Welcome to What's on the Table this weekend. This is a new bonus episode brought to you by Henry Street Taproom, and joining us today is the one and only Ryan McFadden.
How's it going out there, folks? Happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Catherine, on the show. I appreciate it. I'm excited for this bonus episode.
Bonus.
All right.
Everyone loves a bonus.
Right? It's free. It's extra.
You know,
what's not to like?
we in New Orleans, we call that lagniappe.
Lagniappe?
Yeah, so it's a French word that means like extra, like an unexpected extra.
Is it sort of like using like a derogatory, like, oh, that person's lagniappe?
No.
That?
Lagniappe is good. So like in your world, it might be like, hey, you bought a beer and here's an extra,
Like a shot of Fernet or something as a lagniappe?
Yeah.
All right.
So you might say like, oh, here's a little lagniappe for you.
A little
like,
lagniappe.
Why, thank you. I needed an extra
Louisiana.
dollop on my ice cream or whatever it is.
And people use that a lot, lagniappe.
Yeah, so...
It sounds made up, I'm going to be honest. It does not sound like a real word in any language.
You can look it up. It's legit.
Okay.
I wouldn't lie to you.
All right, I'll use lagniappe if I can.
Yeah,
I'll
or
work
like
that in.
a lot of times it's like in a restaurant. It's like, can I get an extra whatever? And then they just bring it out to you and you're like, oh, what'll it cost you? And the server might be like, oh, it's lagniappe.
The server will say that. It's lagniappe.
Yes.
It's lagniappe.
Yeah, I think it's cultural, but like you can't expect it.
Okay.
You just can't expect for people to just give you extra stuff all
Well, then
the
it's
time.
not bonus either. Then it's expected.
No,
It's not lagniappe.
Exactly.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that sounded good. It tastes delicious. I may have spilled it all over myself, but I'm happy to be drinking it.
You're a little sloppy.
It got shaken up. I walked up here. Oh, God, that is good, though. Look at that frothy head on this thing.
All right, what is this?
This is a Czech-style lager from OEC Brewing. They're out of Connecticut, so it's a nice, refreshing, crisp lager. This is something that people have gotten away from in recent years, but are now coming back to. Easy drinking beer. People are taking it easy a little bit. Maybe you're coming off the ski slopes. You're cooling off after a long day. This beer is crisp, refreshing, and it's going to make you happy every time.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the goal. Czech-style lagers are a thing, so they're trying to... It has like a European-looking flair to the can, too, which is obviously intentional. But it's made here in the US of A, baby.
Cool.
We make good beer here in America.
I like it.
Connecticut, the nutmeg state.
Cool shipped and open fermented.
Yeah, cool ship. That means, I don't want to bore you with brewing details, but it's sort of left open to pick up some yeast from the air, which helps in the fermentation
good.
process. Gives a little character.
I like the light.
Little lighter beer. I thought you might. I thought you might like it. I didn't want to bring like a big heavy IPA. I'm like, I don't think Katie's going to drink that. So I thought this was good.
Anyway, we're talking about what's going on this weekend in
Let's have a look.
The little town that we call home, Saratoga Springs.
What a place.
All right, first up in February is the Saratoga Clay Art Center's Chili Bowl fundraiser, which is super family friendly. So in college, we had a chili bowl, and it was not family friendly. It was a college fraternity.
It doesn't sound
party,
family friendly.
But what's really cool about this event is that they actually make all the bowls at the Clay Art Center. And so you leave with a bowl.
Functional and beautiful.
Bowl.
No, they're nice. So the first year that we had Taproom open, we actually we were participants in it, and I got a little bowl because you get one. It's next to my bed. It has a bunch of crap in it.
Yeah, we
still have it.
We use it too as like a dish for change. Okay, so you guys are not in this year.
No, we are. Kindred's in it.
Ryan, who's in this year's cook-off?
This year's cook-off is Kindred, a new wine bar in Henry Street that's definitely worth checking out.
Who's the chef? Because it's about that, right? Like the chef that's coming up with with the recipe.
Yep. So it's Andy Palmisano, who was our chef at Taproom for the last few years. He moved over to Kindred.
I know Andy.
Yeah, you know Andy. He's got the great mustache.
Yeah.
See him back there firing things out of the oven.
Yeah.
He's going to be making the chili, so he's going to be up there. I believe Pete Hom from Rhea is going to be there. Cardona's is going to be there because they won last year, formerly known as Roma's to the uninformed. I think Fat Paulie's is going, which makes a great chicken parm sandwich, by the way. Going to be Walton Whitman, brewery right around the corner.
Ooh.
But I think it's 5.
Cool.
Yeah.
And did you win that last year? Have you? This is, is this your first time?
So this first time we've done it. Taproom did it 11 years ago. Sadly, we did not win that time, but this is the first time since then. So
okay. And so they used to have it at the Clay Arts Center, but they've grown out of the venue, and they're having it at the City Center this year.
Yeah, because they wanted to get more people inside, weather dependent. So that Clay Arts Center doesn't fit too many people inside, and the City Center is much more conducive.
Yeah,
so.
I kind of like chili more than chowder.
I think most people do. I mean, how many times a year do you have chowder versus chili? It's probably considerably. There's more chili in my life than chowder. I can tell you that.
Yeah, more chili. So do you foresee the Chili Bowl being like a citywide event?
You know, they're expecting a lot of people. I think because it's inside, it's downtown now. They're definitely going to get more people, and also it's February. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So I do think they're going to get a lot of people. I don't see it turning into Chowder Fest because you can't do two of those things back to back. It's too much. It's too much on the restaurants, to be honest with you, for that many people.
Yeah.
So I don't see that. But if they keep it at the City Center, I think the way that they're going to do it now, I think is great.
I mean, the only chili story I have doesn't have anything to do with Saratoga. It was Sigma Phi Epsilon's chili cook-off at my college, and it was the first time I actually met Mark's parents.
This sounds like a good story.
Okay, so it's a chili cook-off. It's all the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity. It's like their fundraiser.
Okay.
And so, everybody can like enter a team. And so I was on a team with another friend of ours, brother, and our chili name, I was so proud of it, was I'm Dreaming of a White Chicken Chili.
Okay.
It was so good. And it should have won. And it didn't even place. And I was pissed.
It didn't even place?
I was pissed. And so at the time, I was very hungover because it was on a Sunday that they did this
You're
chili
in college,
cook-off. I'm in college,
right? Yeah.
and I'm definitely like Katie Willis in this point in my life. Like this
is pre-Catherine.
This is pre-seriously Catherine. So I was very upset that we didn't place or win, and I had a water bottle in my hand, so I threw it. And I was like, this is bullshit! And in front of everybody, and I wasn't embarrassed. I was just causing a scene.
Did the water bottle hit somebody?
No. It was just like one of those things like, okay. This is just a fundraiser, Katie, relax.
Were Mark's parents appalled at your behavior or what?
I don't know what they thought. I think after that experience, Miss Mickey did tell Mark that I was a wild card.
Well, I think that's accurate.
Yeah. That's the only chili story that I have.
I don't have any chili stories. I wish I did.
Okay. Well,
not enough chili in my life, it turns out.
Well, I mean, I think most people's chili stories having to do with like the chili tearing up their stomach.
Yeah. Well, and also there are people that are very into, like I have friends that are like, oh, well, my chili's the best. Like, is it? I'm like, it all kind of tastes similar to me, but
yeah.
People that are into chili are very into it. So I think you have to like be making chili routinely to like have like a lot of experience with chili.
There you have it.
There you have it. There you have it, folks. We don't know shit about chili.
Okay, some other events coming up at Universal Preservation Hall on February 3rd.
Beautiful venue. The same day as the Chili Bowl.
Okay, so if you're not into chili, you could, or go get some chili and then go to the Universal Preservation Hall from 7:30 to 10:30 for Uptown, a celebration of Motown and soul.
That sounds fun.
So if Taylor Swift is not playing on Spotify, iTunes, it's either Motown or like New Orleans rap. So
you either
I think
go
I would
Taylor
like
Swift, Motown, or New Orleans rap, which I think is probably bad Southern rap. Am I right about
bad
that?
Southern.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say like, I would be like badass Southern rap.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's a pretty eclectic 3 to go to.
And what makes you think that Southern rap is bad?
I mean, I'm just thinking about like Juvenile and stuff like that, like when I was
Master
in college.
P?
Yeah, like that's
Like Lil Wayne?
exactly.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Do I have that wrong? I mean, the words aren't great.
Oh,
if
you
you're
mean
7.
like like explicit, not bad,
Yes.
as in like not good. Do you know what I mean? Like when you said bad.
I meant not good at first, in my opinion, but I also think that it's bad. I don't like that style of rap, but whatever.
You like more alternative Dave. No, I don't even consider you a Dave Matthews person,
No,
but you're
please
more
don't.
like Hall & Oates, like alternative, like.
Well, that's not alternative,
like,
but
what is it then?
I think you're thinking of somebody else. I like I have an eclectic taste in music. Also, I just don't like Southern rap.
Okay, well, there you have it.
What do you got?
Oh, here's another music thing. The same day.
Okay, what do we got?
Cliffside Push, a Phish experience
Ooh,
at Putnam Place.
that will be packed. This town loves Phish.
What is up with that?
The Phish lovingness of the,
Yeah,
of
like
the town?
because I think one of the singers is like just a big Saratoga fan.
Yeah, well, he's a big Saratoga fan / he got in trouble here and wasn't allowed to leave the county for a while, so lived in Saratoga for about 6 months.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think this was, Trey, I think he's sober now actually, but he was, I think on heroin at the time. This is like early 2000s, and I think he lived above Starbucks because he wasn't allowed to leave.
Wow.
But, I mean, they're based in Vermont. We're close. I think they like playing it back. At least they used to. They don't really come up anymore. They are fun to go to, but any kind of like fishy jam band that goes to Putnam Den, one, the whole service industry goes, and two, this town just fully supports anything like that. So that will be a fun night, I bet, and a very busy night for Putnam Place.
So I do have to take this opportunity to talk about how good brunch is at Kindred. And
Thank you.
I'm not just saying this because we're friends and neighbors, but
It's good, right?
we went right when you first started. I got the fried chicken Benny.
What'd you think?
It was awesome.
It was great, right?
It must be chicken thighs.
It is chicken
Fried
thighs.
chicken thighs, yeah.
Yeah, a little more tender.
Yeah.
Nobody wants
So good.
fried chicken breast.
All right. This is a very important event that I think we both have history in.
Yep.
I avoid it like the plague as a business owner, to be quite frank. But you have to play ball. It's the Saratoga Springs Chowder Fest.
The Chowder Fest, okay. Yeah, it's what I describe as the best and worst day of the year. It's kind of a goddamn nightmare, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We have to make so much chowder and so much soup, and we have a tap room. We have a very small kitchen. It's a lot of work on our staff, and then the day comes, and it's like preparing for war. It's like that movie 300. You're like, all right, there's only 15 of us, and there's 5,000 of them at least, but like we're ready for it. And everyone kind of like buckles up. You take a shot of Fernet, open the doors at 11 o'clock, and the floodgates just open, and it's absolute madness.
First of all, the first year we thought we would attempt to do it, we had like a vendor set up shop in front of Paint and Sip because Paint and Sip we just don't have the capacity whatsoever to like cook anything. And then after that, I was like, never again. I'm closing my doors and I will support my neighbors. And one year where I volunteered as tribute to help you serve chowder.
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know what I was thinking. I'm never going to do it again.
Big mistake.
Don't ask me.
I don't blame you. Yeah. Well, first of all,
misery.
it's often 6 degrees outside. So you're outside for 4 hours. I like to plan it so that we run out of chowder at about 3 o'clock because that's about how long you want to be outside. That's 4 hours. It technically goes till 4. It's brutally cold. You're standing out there. You're saying the same thing to every person that walks up for 4 hours.
Yeah. What kind of chowder is it?
What kind of chowder? It's this. And then you say, you try to be charming to everybody. As the day goes on, you're running out of steam and you're getting cold and people are getting cold. People are getting more drunk as the day goes on. The first best part is when the serving of chowder is over, but that is far from the end of Chowder Fest. Then you walk inside, if you can even get in there, and it's just absolute mayhem. Everybody's drunk. I mean, we don't have a lot of issues at our bar almost ever. Like we almost never have fights. We're not, that's not what we are. We're an adult bar, I like to tell people. We do get a different crowd. A lot of the locals, they come early and they get out. So we get people that, they're not used to being in town. They come from somewhere else. So once in a while we'll have an issue. The only time we've ever hired security was for Chowder Fest, which was
really?
odd
I didn't
for
even
us.
realize you did that.
We don't anymore. There was a couple years there where it got a little squirrely, but it's been fine the last few years actually.
And will Henry Street be blocked off? It's always sort of
Yes.
like up in the air whether we can get it blocked off or not.
Yep, they're going to block it off this year. Shout out to Connie, Discover Saratoga. She does a great job putting the event together. It is a massive event.
She is the real MVP.
She is. And she's very good at like chasing down the paperwork from everybody and organizing the whole thing. And But yeah, they are going to shut it down. I don't know if we're getting a band this year. Usually there's a band. EQX will often broadcast from the block, which is fun. Jeff Morad, sometimes he lets you jump on the radio and talk a little bit. We usually try to go down there and feed him some beers, keep him happy. But it's a great day. It's the best and worst day of the year, as I say. It's the best business day. It's, twice what our usual Saturday is, at least. The bartenders make a mint. Everybody works very hard, but then they're rewarded for it. So, and then we close Sunday for Super Bowl Sunday, let everyone take a break, watch Super Bowl, decompress.
And you're not a football bar. Like, people don't go there to watch football.
No one's going to tap room to watch Super Bowl.
Yeah. So tips for people who have never been to Chowder Fest, who are coming to Chowder Fest.
Yeah.
I have a couple of tips.
Okay.
Don't expect to get like a sit-down meal anywhere.
No, people call us for reservations, and I tell them, I'm like, just so you know, this might not be the night to do that.
Right.
We had one night, this poor couple, they had never been to tap room. They were very sweet. They were in their 60s. And these two brothers were fighting. They turned out to be cops, actually, off duty, not from around here. And people were like, they're like trying to enjoy their food. And this guy's getting like punched into the woman's lap. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And I threatened to call the cops on the guy, and he stands up. First of all, it was like RoboCop. He stood up, and I was like, well, I'm not kicking this guy out of here. He could throw me out the window if he wanted. And then he's like, I am a cop. And I was like, well, shit. What do I do now?
Why are you acting like this?
Please, act like a cop for a second. These people are out to dinner. But yeah, no, I go out of my way to tell people, like, this is not going to be a normal night.
Yeah.
Maybe skip this Saturday if you're
Right.
expecting like a nice night out.
Yeah, I don't think of Chowder Fest as like a family-friendly environment.
It is early.
Early,
You got to
maybe.
go early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, you're not getting like a sit-down meal. I mean, people are just they're drinking.
Yeah, and every place is packed. I mean,
Yeah.
if you go out right away at noon, I'd say at Tap Room, you can get a table and get some food if you're with your kids. But after 2, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any other tips?
My tips would just be, it depends what you're looking for, but go out early. I would say if I was not working on Chowder Fest, which I've never experienced, but I would probably go to 5 places, and then I would find a place in a bar like Henry Street Tap Room or Kindred. And hunker down and get some space and reserve it. So if you're with a bunch of friends, go to a place, hunker down, get yourself a spot because it's going to be hard to get a spot later.
Yeah,
And
make it like find a
Yeah.
home base.
Find a home base. So go try some chowder. How much soup are you going to eat? You're not going to try 30 chowders, or maybe you are. I don't know, but I wouldn't. Go to 5 or 6 spots that you want to go to. Find some place to hunker down and hang out. It is a fun day, and it's February. It's winter in upstate New York. There's nothing else to do that day. There is something to do. So
There are some really serious Chowder Fest goers, and they're they're going to vote because it is a competition. So I think at the end you go and you pass in your ballot or whatever at the city center.
Yep.
And there is a winner that comes out of this. And there are those people who are like, Ryan, this wasn't so good. And sometimes like, they want to tell you right then and there. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, get on, move on. You gave me your money. You got your fucking chowder. On you go.
So that's very true. So we
But
actually
there's pride. There's some pride in it. Like,
we
you
won it the
wanna be
last
one.
2 years.
Okay. I
Which
didn't
is
know that.
So we won it the last 2 years, which was great in like a big dog section 2 of servings. They break it down by how many servings you did. So we have like a lot to live up to this year.
How many servings do you?
So they break it down by between 2,000 and 3,000 servings, 3,000 and 4,000 servings, 4,000 and 5,000 servings, which is like druthers.
crazy.
I think probably alone up in that category. But we did, I think, 2,400 servings or something like that.
Damn.
But we won the last 2 years, which is funny because then you have to go up and receive the award, and now you've been like sort of drinking and handing out chowder all day, and you're like, wait, what? And then you have to go receive an award up there. But there is a lot of pride in it, and our chefs really work really hard to make it good. For us, really, that day, the chowder's like, it's fine. I just want people inside hanging out.
Drinking beer.
Yes,
Drinking
exactly.
some of this. Will this be available there?
Yeah, most likely. We rotate constantly, but we'll have something just like this if it's not this. OEC Brewing, Coolship Lager, Czech Pilsner.
So I have a really funny story that I think about a lot because, well, not a lot, but I just like, it's one of those memories that I have about you and Sonia. And it was when I was hugely pregnant for Posey. And we went to the Saratoga Senior Center's fundraiser at the polo fields at the time.
Yes, right.
And it was models, mingling, and more. Yeah. And so you
Good memory.
and Sonia and Mark were drinking, and I was sober because I was very pregnant. So it was May 31st, I remember, and Posey was born June 2nd. So it was like, I was very pregnant.
Right before. Yeah, very pregnant.
And I remember that was the day that y'all told us that you were moving forward with adopting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God. And y'all were like, well, we don't know how long it's going to take or how long it's going to last. I was like,
it could take 2 years.
I'm like, y'all are going to have a baby next weekend because, you know, I'm like, no one is going to like overlook you in a binder of people to choose like who you want your kid to go to. Right?
Yeah.
I was so excited. And it was very shortly after you got word that you were going to get a baby.
It was much more shortly after than we had anticipated by a lot.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they were like, oh yeah, you have a baby coming. She's due in a month. I was like, what? I was like, I thought it was going to take 2 years. It all happened quick.
Yeah, it was a very exciting time.
It certainly was. Yeah, it feels like it was a million years ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just remember being so happy. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. We're manifesting these kids are going to be best friends.
And now look, they're hanging out right now.
They are.
They're little buddies.
They
it's
are
great.
besties.
They're still buddies.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite stories. No pressure, Ryan.
I know. Yours is like heartfelt about babies and adoption. I'm like trying to think of like nights we went out and things like that. So here's one that jumps into my mind real quick is, do you remember when we had the bike gang?
Oh, yeah.
The bike gang that was a short-lived bike. This was pre-kids. I think the point of the bike gang was basically just to ride bikes around town and drink.
Well, we wanted to be friends. Like, we wanted friends.
Yeah, we're like, we were new to town.
And we wanted to do something that didn't revolve around drinking. We wanted to be active.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And we were riding the bikes up by Skidmore, and I think was one of your friends. He it was the first night of the bike gang, and he hit a curb and flew about 30 yards and broke his shoulder. And it was I think that was the end of the bike gang. I think it was a one-day event.
I'm not trying to laugh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I can't remember what his name was.
It was someone that worked with Mark.
Yes.
But it was yeah, we're the bike gang. And then half an hour later, the bike gang was I don't think we ever rode again. I think the bike gang ended that day. That was just first thing.
It was so dramatic.
Because he was really hurt. It wasn't like he scraped his knee. It was oh, shit. Yes.
He didn't see the curb, and he was
going very fast. So yeah, I think Mark took him to the hospital, and anyway, the bike gang was short lived.
And the rest of us went to the tap room and finished drinking.
Yeah, and I hope he's okay. I don't know. Remember even what he looks like.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah. Shoulder might not be, but anyway.
We had a lot of fun times before kids.
Yeah. And now it's just a different kind of fun, but yeah.
It is a different kind of fun. I can't drink like that. I don't even think I can ride a bike. Oh my God. Well, this was fun. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thank you for having me. It was great.
This is fun.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks.
I hope you enjoyed this bonus episode, What's on the Table, brought to you by Henry She Tap Room. I'm going to last cheers, last toast.
Cheers.
Supposed to do this thing?
Yeah, you always bless the bar.
That's good.
That'll make your Monday go off right.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. And if you want to connect with me, slide into my DMs on Instagram. My handle is Catherine Hover.